Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by my old friend Adam Smith, head of Sky Sports Boxing Development. Adam, how are you doing?
I want to apologise, Danny. You asked me for an interview, I think a few days ago. I only just saw your WhatsApp message. It has been an incredibly busy time behind the scenes and obviously preparing for this huge run we've got in June and early July. So apologies that we are only meeting, but it's much nicer to meet face to face rather than on Zoom in our sitting rooms, isn't it?
It is. Now, as you've been so busy, I have to ask, did you wish your former partner Eddie Hearn a happy birthday yesterday?
I did indeed.
So you weren't that busy then?
No, I did. I wish him happy birthday. Actually, it's the day after my mum, so I forgot because I was celebrating my mum's birthday on June the 7th. Actually, we had a barbecue for her that evening and it got late, and then I was really busy the next day, and I've got to admit, I did see, I think it was Coogan's post, which was funny pictures of Eddie in the past, and it reminded me that it was his birthday. So of course I wished him a happy birthday, and I hope he had a great one. I hope that the family spoilt him rotten, and I hope he was actually here for once. And I think, of course, he was in Wales, and I think he's got the Chisora press conference this week. So hopefully he was here with his family, actually not on the road where he seems to be spending most of his time travelling. But yeah, it's been a weird year without him, but a great year for me to get to know Ben and work with Ben and Todd. New horizons, new challenges. But yeah, of course, it's Frank and Eddie were big parts of our lives for many years, and personally as well as professionally. And I hope he had a fantastic birthday.
What birthday was it for your mum? I remember we used to see her quite a lot around the circuit.
Well, everyone said, she kept saying it's not my 80th birthday. Everyone says it's my 80th. It's not actually. My mum's 76, but she's here on Saturday night. She'll be back at the boxing. She loves coming, and she will be here, no doubt, cheering Lauren and Richard on and enjoying it. She normally comes at about 4 o'clock. She wants to sit through the entire undercard, and if anyone goes and sits near her and next to her, they better know they're boxing, because she swats up on it and she's a bit of an expert. So yeah, it's great that she has the ability. Lockdown was difficult for her. She lives on her own, but she volunteers. She's a volunteer at Lord's. She calls herself Queen of the North Gate, and she comes to as many boxes as she can, and I think that's great. It gets her out and about, and it gives her something to look forward to. So yeah, it's nice.
Well, happy 76, Mrs. Smith. What can she expect? What can we all expect from Saturday night from the main event? Richard Riakporhe, Fabio Turchi. Very important fight for him, world title eliminator. How's it going to play out in the ring?
I think it's a great fight. I think it was a good fight when it first was made. Unfortunately, Fabio couldn't make that, so we actually, at the last minute, 2 weeks I think out, we had to cook something up. And I said to Ben, I don't want Richard just having a marking time fight, treading water. I want him in a good fight. And we found a really good replacement, Dion Juma. And I think I thank Dion for coming in and taking that challenge at short notice. And he did really well. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for him that night. But Dion comes again, and Richard moves on. And I think this is a real test for him on Saturday. An international opponent, although Younger's got more experience than him, he's got a lot of power, and he's had more time to prepare for it. So I think it's a dangerous banana skin, a really hard possible fight for Richard Riakporhe, but it's the right test he needs before he can be knocking on any world title door. I said to him, don't rush this. If you perform well on Saturday night, fine, but maybe even another international test. That cruiserweight world level, Lawrence Sicoli and so forth, is very, very difficult. And I think Richard, time's not exactly on his side, but he keeps himself in immaculate condition. There's not the miles on the clock. He's very fresh, and he hits very hard. So he's got a chance. He's got a chance of going the whole way. And what I like about him is finally he's got some momentum to him. And because he's one of boxers' more established names, he's getting that chance of really hogging the platform. And he's a Crystal Palace fan. He's got a football club behind him. He looks amazing. He's got a great backstory. I know he's got modelling contracts. They're knocking on the door. They're queuing up for him, Danny. And I think that Richard is, he's got the potential to be a real crossover appeal, but he's got to get it right in the ring. And I don't think we're quite there with the finished article. I think he's raw at times. I think Angel knows he needs rounds against established, experienced men like Turchi, and that's what he's going to get on Saturday night. So each time I say about Richard, ask me afterwards. And last time I walked with him back to the hotel, he said, what did you think? I said, I thought you were good, but we're not there yet. And I think he needs these sort of fights.
Now, before we talk about another Sky show headlined by heavyweights this time, just wanted to ask, because a few people were asking about this on social media, why did we not get to see Naoya Inoue and Nonito Donaire fight on Sky Sports? We watched it on YouTube, it was great, but why wasn't it on Sky?
Well, listen, we have a contract with Top Rank. It's a 4-year deal. We don't get everything. It's, sometimes we have to choose what we want. Sometimes it's down to scheduling. Sometimes it's down to times. It can be down to all sorts of things. And we're not a boxing channel. We're not just, boxing doesn't just take over all the other sports. There's a plethora of channels. There's all sorts of things that need to be looked at before we can schedule anything. But listen, Naoya Inoue was, again, fantastic. Congratulations to Top Rank. What a run they're having with Shakur Stevenson, with Devin Haney, with Naoya Inoue, and hopefully we'll show his next fight. As I said, we can't show them all. We've got Edgar Berlanga on the early hours of Sunday morning from New York. We've had Devin Haney. We've got Matobi Evans-Smith next week. We've got plenty to keep us going. We can't sometimes have every show, but it was a great performance, wasn't it? And let's hope we get Naoya next time.
A show you have got in the heavyweight division. It wasn't really on anyone's radar, Michael Hunter and Hughie Fury, but it seemed, well, obviously, yeah, but it seems to make huge amounts of sense.
It does make a lot of sense. I was with Michael in Vegas recently. He's sort of the forgotten man in many ways, but wasn't he brilliant out in Saudi? I thought he won that night against Alexander Povetkin, and he didn't get the decision. I think he's shown us what he can do. He's really likable. He's got so much talent, and it's a hard fight for Hughie Fury. This is a big test, and I went for a lot of Hughie Fury opponents that were being presented, and I like Michael Hunter. I like it as a fight, and we'll find out a lot more about Hughie Fury and a lot more about Michael Hunter's real ambitions about becoming heavyweight champion of the world. It is a perfect fight. It's an international one, and it's one we're really excited about on July the 2nd, alongside, of course, Ben Whittaker turning pro. What a ride that's going to be.
Now, you said to me off camera there's only one thing everyone wants to ask you about today. I'm not sure that's completely true. However, it has been reported that AJ is now edging towards signing with DAZN for his next fight rather than Sky Sports, with whom he's had a mutually beneficial relationship for many, many years. A wonderful relationship. Can you tell us anything about those reports?
I can't tell you anything. I've read them as well. What I can tell you is there's no news from our side at all. As everyone knows, we've been with AJ since his professional debut. We've had an incredible partnership, fantastic relationship. He's been a brilliant ambassador for us. And, we've had the ups and downs. We've been there through the defeats to Andy Ruiz and obviously Alexander Usyk last time at Spurs. And the wonderful highs, like over at the stadium for the Povetkin fight, down in Cardiff, but mainly, I think, for the Klitschko fight, which was probably the greatest night we had with Anthony. But yeah, he's been an incredible fighter and flag bearer for Sky. But as you know, the contract came to an end at the end of the Usyk first fight, and I've always said I'm very confident that he will re-sign with Sky and spend the rest of his career on Sky. I'm not AJ. He makes the decision.
Are you as confident now as you were, say, 6 months ago?
Listen, all I know is I'm reading what I read. You're never confident in boxing until things are signed. Things can change very quickly, very dramatically. It's unpredictable. I remember back to when AJ was going to fight Andy Ruiz in the rematch, and Eddie said, we're going to Cardiff. And I said, fine, we'll go to Cardiff. And this was back end of the week before the press conference was all set in Cardiff for the Monday. And he said, Ad, there is an outside chance that we may be going to Saudi with the fight. And I said, really? He goes, yeah, well, they've come in and they said there's a huge money deal on the table, and there'll be some in Matchroom's bank and some in escrow by Monday morning. And I remember Eddie's quote, he said, pigs will fly past my window. Well, that happened, and then on the Monday morning, before I got the train down to Cardiff, he said, the money's landed, we're going to Saudi. So look, things can happen very quickly. We know that in the boxing world, and there's moves and there's different things that can come very quickly or slowly. What I know is there's no news. I don't even know when the fight is. I think it's August the 20th. We know that it's going to happen. Exciting fight. Looking forward to the rematch. Heard from AJ a couple of days ago. He sent his love to the family. We got a great personal relationship, as I do with the whole team, and as Sky do with 258, obviously with Fraser Clark and Ben Whittaker. So, but AJ's got to make that decision, and he'll make it. And what I can say is it's been incredible so far, and hopefully it'll be incredible again. And whatever happens, it's been an amazing partnership with Anthony Joshua and us, and let's hope it continues in whatever way.
Now, there's this kind of narrative that's built up that one of the biggest pluses of working with Sky Sports is that it enhances your profile, it's ever present across a glut of channels, social as well. But for someone of AJ's standing, he's already got that profile built through Sky in large part. Maybe now it's time for him to just go for the most money regardless of the other elements. Do you sympathise with that?
Danny, that's a question you've got to ask Anthony. As I've said before many times in interviews, fighters are why we're here. You know, we wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for, and we've been doing it a long time, for the gladiators that put their life on the line. And you and I know that whether you're a Peter Buckley, you know, who had hundreds of fights as a journeyman, or whether you're an English title fighter like Jermaine Brown on this card who continues to be in 50-50 fights, or whether you're a Floyd Mayweather, and whoever you are at whatever level, it's the toughest of businesses. You have to be selfish, you have to think of yourself and your family, and you have to make the right decisions for you. I've said all along that I think the right decision for Anthony is to stay on Sky, because I think we've got a great relationship, he's got an amazing brand, and I think that, you know, his future will be very secure anyway. He's made a lot of money, but by keeping with the Sky Sports brand, you know, beyond his career. But look, as I said to you before, what happened in that scenario 2 or 3 years ago while we went to Saudi, you know, money, big offers can come in, and obviously fighters and fight teams have to look at everything that's on the table, and when they decide, you know, we'll find out and we'll know. And if that decision goes our way and he stays on Sky, brilliant, it'd be wonderful, and if it doesn't go our way, then we will wish him every bit of success, because he's been amazingly successful for us. And I hope that he, you know, goes and becomes a 3-time heavyweight champion. I hope it's with us. But if he makes the decision in the coming days that it's not, then he makes that decision. And I think a fighter's got to be respected for that. And you can say, oh, he's made his name and now just go for the biggest money offer. And there'll be people who'll say he'll take the cash, or people who'll say, you know, he'll do what Eddie went to DAZN and he's with Matchroom. Maybe that's what they'll decide to do. Maybe he'll decide to stay on Sky. There is no news. I'll tell you when I know, and we'll just wait and see. But whatever happens, you know, we've loved every minute of it, and you know, I feel privileged to have been in that position where, you know, we've had the chance of building Anthony Joshua into becoming the crossover transatlantic star that he is, and you know, I'll always be very, very proud of that. And I know his team are very close to our team, and everyone at Sky will be wishing AJ well, whether it's with us or not.
Now, I've saved the most delicate topic perhaps for last, like any good journalist would. There was a report recently in the Daily Mail, I believe, by Riyadh Al Samurai, claiming that boxers who want to fight on Sky Sports have been asked to sign a document that says they have no links to either Probellum or to MTK Global, which is now defunct, of course. What can you tell us, if anything, about that report?
I can tell you that I read it. Like, I read the report and I thought, okay, if that's what's happening, that's a question for, you know, our colleagues at Boxer. I don't get involved in the legal side of things. What I do know is that Ben and I look very carefully at every fighter. Obviously, we work for a big corporation like Sky, and that's important. And we want to make sure that, you know, that we select our fighters that are part of the Boxer and Sky stable for a number of reasons. And, you know, we look at everything, what stories they're bringing, what records they've got, what futures they've got, whether they're going to get to this level, that level. You know, we give you opportunities on the tournament shows, the grassroots shows, give you opportunities at the higher levels. So I don't know. I read the report, and you know, we'll see what manifests. And but all I do is concentrate on the Boxer and Sky business, and I know who we've got and who we've signed, and I'll make sure that, you know, as a broadcaster, we don't get involved with the signing on the dotted line. We don't get involved in those contracts, and that's up to Boxer to make happen with the fighters. They're signing the fighters. I'm just encouraging and hopefully Ben will listen to me, and he did with Lauren and Karis and Ben and others, and so he then takes the fighters under his wing, and we're the broadcasters who don't get involved in that. It's not our job really to matchmake or to guide fighters. We're obviously part of the relationship, but that's not really for us to get involved with. We're the broadcasters.
Just the last one on that note, how did you feel when you found out that MTK had ceased to exist? I think the news broke during the Fury White press conference, and you were there obviously for, who was it? Was it ESPN you were there for?
Yeah, Fury White I was, Sky Sports News working with, and helping ESPN out. It was good fun actually, I really enjoyed it. Great being around Tyson for that week. Look, that news came, obviously we work with Boxer and with Top Rank, and previously with Matchroom. And as you know, before that, with the Maloneys and Hatton and Frank Warren and all those great promoters, and MTK I know had a lot of fighters, and they announced that they ceased to trade, or they ceased to become a company, and those fighters I guess are all sort of moving around, and there's different managers, and look, as I said, I concern myself with what's in front of me. The most important thing is to give the Sky Sports customers the best we can in terms of boxing. It's been an interesting year, challenging year. I think we've done tremendously well. I think the future is incredibly bright with Boxer, incredibly bright with our colleagues at Top Rank too, and most importantly for our Sky customers, very bright for Sky. So I focus on that. I focus on what's in front of me, what shows we've got coming up, what fights we can help navigate to being made. Potentially what box office fights might be on the horizon, and we take it step by step. But as you know, this is a fast-moving business, and you hear stories and news all the time, and you take it. I like to sort of take it in, and and see where the next stage takes us. And at the moment, it takes us to June the 11th on Saturday night here at Wembley, and it's up to us to try and provide the Sky audience with the best in entertainment we can, and I believe Saturday night will be a fantastic card and a great night, and I look forward to it. But I want to wish Daniel Dubois all the very best in his fight as well. I want to just end this by saying congratulations to Joe Cordina, a brilliant win from a great guy, and good luck to Daniel Dubois. Obviously I've spent quite a lot of time with him lately because of our mutual affection for his sister Caroline, who I believe will be a crossover star in boxing. And I want to wish Daniel and all the team and Shane the best over there in America.
Daniel versus Hughie on Sky perhaps next?
Okay.
Daniel versus Hughie perhaps on Sky?
Yeah, great. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Obviously Daniel's with Frank Warren, but look, things can be made, fights can be made, and let's see if Daniel can pick up this title over in the States. Tough fight he's got, and let's see if Hughie can get past Michael Hunter, another tough fight, and that'd be good, wouldn't it? 2 semi-finals and a final. I'd like that.
Brilliant. Adam, always a pleasure. Thank you.
No problem. Cheers, mate.